Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show, where you'll find health and fitness inspiration, motivation, and information shared in 15-minute episodes. Tune in while getting a move on to make leading and enjoying the benefits of a healthy lifestyle almost too easy. It's the Fit 15. And now your host, Catherine Basu.
Welcome to the Fit 15 podcast show. I'm your host, Catherine Basu, and I'm excited to share the second half of the conversation I started yesterday with you today during today's episode. Yesterday, I spoke with Emily Saul and shared the first half of our conversation on sports psychology, what it is, and some of the differences between sports psychology and traditional psychology and how you might be able to benefit from working with a sports psychologist. We ended our conversation where I asked Emily what you could do if you were finding yourself in a fitness rut and wanted to regain your motivation. So that's where we will pick up today. She'll answer that question. And we'll also talk about the November project, which Emily has been involved with for a while. So want to just share a little bit of background on Emily for those of you who missed yesterday's episode, although I do encourage you to go back and listen to that fully when you have the chance. So Emily Saul has her master's degree in sports psychology and is also a licensed mental health counselor. Since 2014, she has been co-leading the Free Fitness Movement November Project in Boston, where she motivates and challenges athletes of all abilities and walks of life, from those who have never run before to those who are returning to fitness of some kind, to elite athletes of all kinds, all while harnessing the power of community. Emily was a Division I collegiate rower, coached strength and conditioning at Harvard for 7 years, and is an avid marathon runner on road and trail. She has a deep desire to help athletes, fitness enthusiasts, and anyone who moves to find the potential inside them. Please welcome her back as we continue the conversation we started yesterday.
Okay, so if someone's listening and they're just kind of going through the motions with their fitness routine, what are some tips to help them get back and to find that why or that meaning and maybe be more present in their workouts?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first thing is to ask yourself, why did I start doing this in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody can say, I started going to spin classes because I really was invested in being healthier, and they might have some like nutrition goals or ways that they want their bodies to be like medically healthier, and they're like, okay, I'm just now, but this is time has gone by and I'm just kind of plugging away and I do it, but like whatever, I just go to the class and do my thing and go home. I think it's really valuable to ask yourself, why did I start? And if you feel connected to that at all right now, then it's important to do something that works for you. So specialize it for yourself, but that allows you to pay more attention to that why on a regular basis. And making it fit for you is something like some people like to, write it down and have it be visible. So it might be a note that you put on your mirror. I do this because. For some people, it might be a picture of, something that's inspirational to them, or a picture of themselves or somebody that they love and care about. It might be a single word. So it's about like representing somehow the why for you and keeping that with you. So there's like a visible kind of physical reminder of that. And for everybody, regardless of whether you remember your initial reason why you started or not, you can ask yourself, why do I choose to do this today? And, for some people, it might be like, oh, fitness is good for me. Then I would ask you to go like a step farther and go, okay. And so if fitness is good for you, like, why is that valuable to you? And hopefully what I'm asking people to really get to is whether it's their, their health or it's about their relationships with people, but getting to that thing that feels really significant, rather than just like because I'm supposed to or because I should.
Right.
And so, and this is where the challenging part is, right? Like, I want everybody to feel like they can like enjoy being fit and active. But sometimes the thing we're doing doesn't do it for us. And that's
right.
okay.
Right.
It's totally okay if the thing we're doing doesn't do it for us. And so by connecting to the meaning, so if I say I value my health and I really want to, I want to be as healthy as I can, then I want to ask myself, is what I'm doing helping me feel inspired about my health? And if it's not, then you can always try doing some other things. So a lot of people will do their fitness from inside spaces. We'll go to gyms, we go to classes. I think it's a really helpful thing for people to try doing some fitness outside. Nature is biologically inspiring. And I know that it gets hot in the winter and it gets cold. It gets hot in the summer and cold in the winter. And depending on where you live, it can be even more extreme. But getting outside and, if you like walking or running on a treadmill, doing some runs that take you outside, even in a short kind of familiar loop, allows you to just experience it differently. And then I encourage people to take in the sensory experience that they're having. What do they see? What do they smell? What do they hear? And take those in because that allows them to be more present. And it might be, so that's like same exercise, but doing it somewhere different. And it might mean trying something different and really asking those same kinds of questions. Like, does this serve me in feeling excited or inspired about what I'm doing? And so whether it's a change in location or doing it with someone is a really good step or choice.
Hi friends, it's Catherine, and I am stepping in here to just remind you to turn around. If you're joining us for the episode and using it as a way to get in and out and back walk of 15 minutes total, you will want to turn around now as we are about 7.5 minutes into the episode. All right, back to Emily.
To take because it just changes the dynamic of maybe not being alone, or if you've been running with one other person or, doing fitness with one other person, maybe, joining a run crew or trying a class if you've never done a class before. But allowing yourself to really think about the what you're doing and then how you're doing it to both give you a little bit of maybe new inspiration, but also give you an opportunity to be really mindful and present about why I'm doing it. So there are lots of different ways to really help people. I think asking those questions initially, and if you're really struggling with why you're doing it, that's when I would say, like, give me a call and let's have a conversation about it, because sometimes people can do that for themselves and sort of go, oh, it would be more meaningful if I did this or tried that. But that is also, what I help people figure out. And it's often not challenging. Like, it doesn't take a long time to sort of get some new clarity on what can be meaningful, why we're choosing to do the things we're doing. And then, making some adjustments to the things we're doing or finding some new things to do.
I love that. And, one way we were talking about before we started the call that could be a way for people to change things up and get outside and be with a buddy, even if their current circle of friends is not the buddy they want, is the November Project. So could you talk to us about your involvement in that and what that is and how people could get involved too?
Yeah, that was a perfect segue.
Right?
I didn't even realize I was talking about all of those different components, but you're right that all of those things that do actually embody November Project. So the November Project is it's a grassroots community-based fitness movement. It started in Boston, which is where I live. And it really started with this idea that we can become very uninspired by the weather outside, or by the cost of gym memberships, or by, the only time to work out is in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, and I don't want to get up early, and those kinds of things. But the two guys who started the November Project are my good friends, Boyd Mandrick and Brogan Graham. And the way that they chose to face all of those challenges, which at the time they looked at as sort of excuses they were making for themselves that were keeping them from the fitness that they wanted. And they said, what if we work out together every day for a month, Monday through Friday? We'll get up early, even though we don't like it. We'll see if we can turn ourselves into morning people. We'll do creative, fun workouts that are outside all month long, even though it's going to be November in Boston. And the weather traditionally in Boston is, it's the definition of uninspiring. And so they did that for that entire month, which was all the way back. And since then, they built this community. They welcomed people who wanted to also get some free, really fun, fierce fitness. And people started coming, and more people started coming. And there are now hundreds of people who show up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings in Boston. And there are many thousands more who show up in any one of the 49 cities around the world that have these November Project communities. And so it continues to be completely free. It is always outside, no matter what, all year long. So we call ourselves weatherproof. The question is not what's the weather like. It's just how many layers do I need to wear?
Sure.
And we really, it's been amazing. I've been not only a part of November Project, but leading the group in Boston since 2014. And I have the distinct pleasure and joy of seeing people show up. And that's all anybody needs to do for the very first time. They just show up to the designated place for wherever your city's meeting, and be willing to work out and work hard. The workouts are completely welcoming and inclusive of everybody and all fitness levels. So I always get questions, people saying like, don't I have to get in shape first before I come to the workout? And I go, no. That's the whole point. If you think I want fitness, but I'm not sure where to start, November Project is actually a really good place to start, because there is such a positive, supportive community around this really fun fitness activity. And for people who've, maybe not enjoyed fitness in the past, a lot of people say, I'm not a runner. Or, I don't like, doing those things. And the combination of the outdoors and doing it together, and there are always fun and unique elements that I think you don't get really a lot on your own, and definitely don't get, when you're in more traditional, fitness, gym, even class type of experiences that allow people to kind of break out of the mold. Fitness can become fun, even though it's still hard, but it can become fun, and a space where people really discover parts of themselves that they didn't realize they had. So many people who I meet through November Project have said, I wasn't a runner, but now I am, or I wasn't sure I liked big groups of people, but now I do. I've found a lot of friends here, things like that. So it's a pretty amazing space for people to try out.
No, it's super cool. And I know, I've been a runner for a long time, but I grew up hating gym class. So, I always want to share with people I think a lot of people, I guess many people who enjoy fitness now, they might have grown up always doing sports as a child even. But I think there's a lot of people like me who hated gym class, somehow found something they loved and want to share their love of that with other people, whether it's in a professional way, as their career, or just share that with their friends or new friends. So people shouldn't be intimidated to go out for for a new group.
Yeah, no, I mean, I always tell people, like, I hope you're not intimidated by it. I hope that you can sort of embrace, like, just showing up. But I also understand it's super scary. It's challenging. I mean, I remember walking into the weight room, like the gym. I was actually fortunate enough to be an athlete in college, but I was on the rowing team, and I walked on. I had never been a rower before. I had done other sports, but I walked onto the rowing team, and we got to do strength training as a significant part of our training, throughout all 4 of my years. And going into the weight room, I remember being intimidated, a little bit scared, like, what are we doing? I don't know what I'm doing. And
Right.
I always want everyone to remember, like, everybody feels like that. And so if you're coming in today and it is your first day and that person over there doesn't look like they're intimidated at all, it means that they just had their first day earlier than you did. But it also doesn't mean that, people are judging you or being critical. And I really encourage people to just, like, own your space when you go in and be willing to ask questions and be open to learning, because there's no way for it to become more familiar or to build confidence or to develop more knowledge if you don't show up and stick around and be open to learning. And especially in terms of people being self-conscious or thinking like, oh, everyone's judging me because I, like, look so bad or weird or new or whatever. Mostly, I try to remind everyone's thinking about themselves. Everyone is having the same thought you're having. So let's just all have fun together and, like, stop worrying what everybody else is thinking, because we're too busy judging ourselves to be judging each other.
Right? No, that's so true. I find that with running. I know people tell me they don't want to run. Their running form is weird. I'm like, no one's really, worrying about it. And if they are, they're going to drive by in the car and they're not going to tell you.
Well, right. Or if they notice they're a running coach and then maybe they have some insight to share with you, and you could say, yeah, do you have any tips you want to offer?
That's true. No, that's true for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Emily, I loved hearing more about your involvement with the November Project and getting some insights on this mysterious world of sports psychology coaching.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. And anything else you want to share with the listeners before we officially say goodbye? And then I'll share links to how they can find you in the show notes. But
great, thank you. No, I think, one of the things that I really love about what you're doing is just reminding the world that, fitness is worth exploring. And I understand that there are lots about it that can be intimidating or challenging. But I think for me, the richest experiences in my whole life are not ones that have just been, like, easy. They are ones that I've had to work a little bit for and get a little bit out of my comfort zone. And so I really encourage everybody, no matter where you are in your fitness journey in your life, that it's okay to get a little bit uncomfortable. Don't get so uncomfortable that you're like, I'm never doing that again and I, like, hate this. But get a little bit uncomfortable that in a space that allows you to learn about yourself. Like, if you can do anything in fitness and then go, okay, what did I learn about myself? And maybe the learning is that, like, I'd like to be stronger. Great. Then go get stronger, because you just discovered that you value feeling strong, and there are so many resources to be able to do that. And so whether it's strength or endurance or any of the other things that you can work toward in your fitness journey, I just encourage everybody to be open to exploring it, be willing to get a little bit uncomfortable, and keep learning about yourself.
I love that, because I think fitness, the lessons we learn in fitness just can help us in all areas of our life. So I love how you share that.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for listening to the Fit 15. For show notes and more, visit fitarmadillo.com/podcast. See you next time.
Hi friends, it's Catherine, and I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of the Fit 15. This was actually the second half of my conversation with Emily Saul. So if you missed that episode, I encourage you to go back and listen to it. You can do that by scrolling back in your podcast feed or going to our show notes page, fitarmadillo.com/podcast. And you'll get to enjoy learning more about sports psychology, what it is, how you can benefit from it, and how it differs from traditional psychology. Those are some of the main topics we covered in that first half of our conversation. Excuse me with my little bit of a stuffy nose here, but I hope you will enjoy that and check that out. And also, don't forget to leave us a rating and review where you listen to your podcast to help other people find the show. Subscribing to the show will mean that I'll get to talk to you tomorrow when the next episode of the podcast is released. So I hope you subscribe and to share some more insights and motivation with you tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Bye.